In a world where trading card game accessories are boring, one man, one desire to bring you the hottest merch of 2021. Be the hottest duelist on the block with these waifu stickers. Be the man everyone wants to be with your stunning metal field centers. Flex on the competition with the greatest merch on the planet. Get yours today over at HeadtoHeadBattles.com.
On today's episode of Head-to-Head Battles, 5 budget decks that are also fun to play. Nailed it. Alright guys, if you guys enjoyed singing Susu, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Hit that notification bell, because half of you aren't even subscribed or hitting that notification bell or anything. Also, if you guys want to see us play these budget, competitive, fun decks online in real time, make sure to head over to twitch.tv/HeadtoHeadBattles. We stream every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 p.m. EST. We try to hit that time. Sometimes we miss. We miss a lot of the times. I should probably move it to 8. Also, if you haven't been able to pick up your merch, head over to HeadtoHeadBattles.com. We sell some really dope metal field centers. We just released 2 new ones, all right? The Ash and Nezuko one, they are selling off fast. We also have the new Fate X Ecclesia black and rose gold metal field centers, so make sure you guys are picking those up before you cannot, because they do go fast. If you want first dibs, make sure you guys are joining Discord. All the links are in the description box down below. All right, so enough with the riffraff. Okay, you want to know the decks, the budget, the competitive, and the fun deck. Because I mean, at the end of the day, when you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, you're trying to have fun, right? Like, winning is fun, but fun is also fun. But when you're talking about budget decks, you have to understand you're playing on a budget, which means you don't have the best cards, but that doesn't mean you don't have the best strategy. So keep that in mind, all right? So now with that disclaimer out the way, let's get into the decks, all right? So one of the top decks, and a deck that I've played a lot and I really do enjoy, is Magical Muskets. Now, this deck can be seen as kind of like a very one-for-one deck, a very rogue deck, but it's still very budget and very competitive because it got a lot of reprints, right? And you can have the entire deck, extra deck included, for under $100, right? If you are resolving Magical Musketeer Max, it's literally a plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could literally plus 5 off of a Link 1. Link 1s break decks, and Magical Muskets have a Link 1, which makes it a really, really good deck. They have a card, it's broken. It's called Dancing Needle. Dancing Needle is literally a trap card you can play from hand if you have a Magical Musket on the field, and it says you can banish up to 3. Do you know how powerful that is against Dragon Links? Do you know how powerful that is against Invoked or even Shaddolls? Like, the ability to do that on either turn as an interaction is insane, right? And Desperado target pops. A lot of cards do have protection against targeted pops, but at the end of the day, a targeted pop is still really powerful, right? They also have a counter trap, which is insane. Like, it's insane, right? Like, the deck itself is really good. The one downside to the deck, however, is that a lot of the interactions are 1-for-1 if you don't know where to interact, right? If you can learn to hit a deck where it really hurts, Magical Muskets give you the tools to do that, but now the issue is you have to know the other person's deck. The next deck on my list, and this is the deck I took to like the extravaganza and kind of bigger tournaments, is the Buster Blader deck. Now, I know you guys saw me play the Guru Buster Blader with Dragoons, but that's not budget, okay? First of all, Buster Dragon got a reprint in Ghost from the Past. That card was $50, which means this deck can never be on this list. But the fact that Buster Dragon got a reprint means this deck is playable as a budget option. Now, you can play a small Dragon Link package, big shout out to Cam Neal, and literally kind of grind your opponent out. And if you're playing against Dragon Link and you put them under the Buster Dragon lock, they're literally not playing. And a lot of decks that are like typing dependent have a hard time playing under the Buster lock. Even Dinos, which are running rampant right now, can't play under the Buster lock because they need to be Dinos, but now they're dragons. They literally can't play. Like, it's unironic that a Buster Dragon deck, right, a Buster Blader deck rather, is literally clapping the meta and its budget, and you're saying, but Susu, you need Pot of Prosperity, you need Pot of Extravagance. No, you don't. Trap Trick is a card. It exists, okay? You have Buster Whelp at 3. Buster Whelp helps you get Prologue. There's a lot of plays that you can make with the deck, that you have to be big brain, right? Like when you first pick up a new budget, fun, competitive deck, you're not gonna be the best player with that deck. Your job is to get good with the deck and understand how to beat your opponent's decks, because honestly, that's a recipe for success. Okay, so another deck on my list right now, and it's really budget because the Lulus are actually coming down in price, is Virtual Worlds. Now, Virtual Worlds, after VFD got hit, kind of fell off the map, but here's the thing, right? ZhenZhen, Crystal Wing, Chuche. You have the Chuche Pop, Crystal Wing Negate, and you have the ZhenZhen, which is basically a D-shifter. If you can't play the D-shifter, just make the D-shifter. So Virtual Worlds is kind of in a tough spot, right? Because like no one has really figured the deck out yet, which makes it really budget because no one really wants to figure it out. Because now when a pro player figures it out, they're gonna buy out the cards, and the cards are gonna go back up in price, and you can't be budget anymore. So let's kind of like dive a little deeper into the end board, right? So ZhenZhen basically says any card that goes from field to graveyard is banished instead. Okay, so that's huge, right? Because now a lot of combo decks can't combo, and a lot of cards that need to be on field, even for Ellick, right, just get banished. They can't trigger it in the end phase or trigger it in the main phase. If their Golden Lord goes from field to graveyard, the card is dead, right? Like if it's banished, if the Ellick engine doesn't really have anything to bring the Golden Lord back from the banished pile, which is why like Shaddolls and Magical Muskets have a really good matchup against Ellick, and that doesn't change for ZhenZhen, because ZhenZhen is still a really powerful card. Not only does it do the banishing effect, it brings itself back. It's recursive and it's a big body. The card's insane. You couple that with Crystal Wing, which is already known to be an insane card, right? The card is old, the card is known to be insane. And then you have a Chuche Pop, right? After you go full combo, you definitely have one, maybe two pops. But even then, like there's not a lot of decks that can play through a ZhenZhen and a Negate, as well as a Chuche Pop. There's just no deck that can like realistically play through that, and even more so if the person sitting across the table from you is on autopilot mode and doesn't really know how to play the deck anyways. Okay, so next on my list is Earth Machines, or Dozer Control, or the deck that's been coming up in popularity. Now this deck is really good because it has a lot of one card combos. Now this deck is designed to draw you cards, which means that you don't really garner advantage with cards on the board because you don't really have negates or anything, you know, in that sense, but you have cards that are very recursive and cards that replenish themselves. Along, if you're drawing like 5 extra cards mid-combo, the deck plays a lot of blowout traps like Torrential Tribute, Needle Sealing, and cards that literally just equalize the game state so that when their turn comes back, they can play and either reset up or try to OTK, because the deck plays Leeb. There's definitely OTK potential in this deck, even though it is a kind of a borderline control deck, right? Because I mean, it's literally called Dozer Control. So Citadel is a card that's absolutely broken in the deck, and you have a lot of cards that are very cheap in the deck, right? You don't need to be running the Pot of Prosperities because the deck inherently draws for you. You really don't need Triple Tax because again, you want to go first, you want to draw the cards. Triple Tactics is a dead card to begin with, right? And you don't even need Forbidden Droplets because, yo, you set a Torrential, 2 Torrentials, a Torrential and a Needle Sealing, a Torrential, a Trap Trick, and a Needle Sealing. You set 5 back row with 4 cards in hand. Like, you put up a lot of presence on the board, right? Like, you're literally telling this person, like, yo, you better play around every back row that you think might be there or might be just bait, right? Because like when you're putting down back row, you never really want to play into like Harpy Dusters or Lightning Storms. So if you generally don't have like a Solemn Judgment set or something that can stop a blowout card, you generally don't want to set your entire hand. So this deck does rely on hand traps. Ash being the most expensive one, but you don't really need to be playing Ash. There's a lot of other hand traps that are very, very powerful in the format, especially right now. The Nibiru Secrets are still $13. The Gold Rares are about $9. You know, you draw into Nibs, you draw into Drolls, you draw into everything that you would like to see so your opponent can't play to their full potential. And you know, you just set up to OTK afterwards. And believe it or not, the final deck on my list is Shaddolls. I think this is a really good format for Shaddolls because of Winda, right? Winda is an absolute powerful card. One, it can't be destroyed by card effect, which is absolutely insane. So that targeted effect pop just doesn't happen. And on top of that, a good Shaddolls player who is managing their resources well are hard to beat. Their grind game is just next level, right? Just being able to get cards back from the graveyard when your monsters die, or, you know, being able to fully Shaddoll monsters when you summon a construct. Like, all these things put together, plus a good player, make this a very fun, budget, and extremely competitive deck. No one ever thought normal summoning Mathematician in 2021 was gonna be a powerful strategy, all right? If you're playing Shaddolls right now, the trap variant, and your win-loss ratio is looking crispy, comment down below, because I want to know what you're doing that I'm not. All right, I can't play the grind game. It's not my style. I hope you enjoy the video. Come back for the next one. I love you, yeah. Subscribe, like, and comment. Hit the notification bell. I love you guys, bro. I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is Susu from HeadtoHead Battles signing out. What's up, guys?
If you haven't subscribed, make sure to click that button right there in the middle.
Also, if you haven't watched that video that YouTube is recommending you, it's probably crazy, all right? Go watch it. This is Susu from HeadtoHead Battles
JenJen from HeadtoHead Battles
signing out.